So I have found another absolutely cooked episode of Law and Order SVU. And this one, oh man, it's really bad. So not to give too much away, but this one is super racist, like trying to scare the white people with race wars, kind of racist. And it's also super anti-Palestine. Like, it's actually wild how blatant they are with their clear fear-mongering. So yeah, strap in folks, we're investigating another cursed episode of SVU. Let's delve into this literal shit show with our second episode of Investigating SVU. All right. This episode starts off with a school ground. You can tell that it is a poor school, very poor, because there's lots of children of color. And if you compare that to any time we see a non-shit school, I guess, or a rich school, it's literally all white people. And they always do this. They're like, oh, is that a bad neighborhood? Must be full of non-white people.
The kind of teacher I'd like to clone. She took 10th graders reading at a 3rd grade level and got them through Regents exam and into college.
You cops? Yes. My little girl is going to graduate because of Miss Owens.
We're sorry for your loss.
It's not just my loss. Look at these kids. Please.
Marnie Owens survives a tour of duty in one of the city's worst high schools, but she isn't safe in her own apartment.
A tour of duty in one of the city's worst high schools.
Bruh.
Then this teacher is talking to these randos at the fence. There is a bang and one child is shot by another child.
Bitch, I think you need to chill.
Charlie, can you send him to...
After this little girl, her name is Carly, is shot, the teacher just holds her, like she radios in for help, but it's like, pressure. Put pressure on the wound to at least stop the bleeding. So it's like, no wonder this kid died. This teacher put absolutely zero effort in to try and saving her life. But yeah, so a kid dies. Back to the office, and we've got the captain telling his police officers that they have a suspect coming in.
There was a shooting, PS 387 in East Harlem. 6-year-old girl died at the scene. They're bringing the shooter up now.
Why did we catch it?
Brass thinks we're better equipped to handle him.
Child. Anyway, so.
Great, bring on the pervert.
The captain would clearly know that their suspect being brought in is another 7-year-old, but he decides to withhold that knowledge for what? I guess dramatic purposes.
Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama. Maybe I am. Am I the villain? I don't think I'm the villain.
So when Elias, the little 7-year-old who shot Carly, comes in, they're all like, whoa, it's a kid. What would make a kid do something horrible like this?
Well, we've got no ammunition
Nothing about this makes sense.
Child homicides never do.
What happened to that little boy to make him want to take a life?
Elliot, you're searching for a way to make him a victim. The only victim here is a dead little girl.
These guys are really bad at their job, especially if part of their job is dealing with children.
Because you'll see throughout this episode that things would have come together much quicker if they had just asked the proper questions. And then they can't find the parents. Both their parents called in sick to work. And then Munch is like, well, if nobody can find them, we know why this kid's a killer.
Where are we on the parents?
Both of them called in sick today. Nobody knows how to find them.
Well, that fills in a few blanks for me.
Munch sucks so much. I hate him. The anti-poor shit in this episode is rife. Oh, and then within the same breath, the parents arrive out of nowhere, being like, oh, you left a message on our answering machine.
Benson?
Yes.
You left a message. Our son Elias was involved in a shooting?
They gave this address, not a hospital. Is he... Oh, God, please say he's alive.
Mrs. Barrera, I'm sorry about the misunderstanding. Elias wasn't the one who was shot.
Oh, thank God.
He was the shooter.
And I don't know, it's like have one transitional scene to show the passage of time, but I guess...
Not
That's when the parents find out that their kid was the shooter, and they're not very nice about it, Olivia and fucking the rest of them. And then they kind of do con these parents of being like, oh, you want to talk to him? Sign away his rights, baby.
Where's our son? We want to talk to him with you, but we can't do that without your permission. If you would sign a Miranda waiver.
Fine. That's fine. Just let us see him.
They do, because obviously they want to talk to their kid and see he's okay. So manipulation, sensation by the cops, but you know, what's new? Yeah, so they go in to do an interview with Elias, and you learn that they've got another child, a baby girl who was born with complications.
We're at the emergency room all morning.
The baby girl was born with a respiratory problem. We had to leave her at the hospital.
And Olivia is so stone-faced cold about this. She's like, okay.
Leave her at the hospital.
Why don't you take a seat here?
Ew, like if this was a white family, she would be so like, oh my God, you guys, what can I do to help? But because it's a not white family, she doesn't even care. She doesn't even be like, oh, I'm sorry. They always portray Olivia to be so nice and lovely, but then she's such a bitch to every non-white parent. It happens consistently.
Russo would drop by. Did Corbin seem upset or would he throw a temper tantrum?
Hi. Ashley, right? What are we hiding from? So what do you do when you're not hiding under there?
School and lessons.
Yeah? What kind of lessons?
Tap, piano, ballet, and singing.
Wow, you're a lucky little girl.
Yeah, but we weren't friends like him and Corbin.
Hey, what happened there?
Oh.
It's not the parents' fault that they have a sick child. They should get some sympathy. Their baby daughter is in hospital, and yeah, everyone's just like, tell someone who cares.
Really? That sucks. That's, I mean...
The parents come in and give their child Elias a big hug, and the detectives are so stone cold. They don't give a fuck about this family.
Okay. All right.
Then during the interview, Elliot doesn't ask important, straightforward questions that a kid would be able to answer. He doesn't ask, did you shoot Carly? Did you mean to shoot Carly? Why did you shoot Carly? He just asks really roundabout questions of being like, so did you like Carly?
You like Carly? No, how come?
She's always bothering me.
How does she bother you?
She chases me. She tries to kiss me.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
They use that as the motive, and it's so flimsy. So, Munch and Finn go to the school to conduct some interviews with the classmates. Mind you, it is the exact same day that this murder happened, and there is already a memorial there. I don't know how that got there so quickly. And also, these kids aren't traumatized. Yeah, they're going in and conducting these interviews, and there's some random woman in the background. I don't know why she's there. They make the black kid really, really angry because another thing they try and push in this episode is fucking race wars. You know what minorities are like. They're just so angry at each other all the time. It's like, these are 7-year-olds. They would be absolutely traumatized and not be like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr, rrr."
Where did Elias get the gun?
From his pants.
Before that?
I don't know.
Did he ever talk about having a gun?
No.
When's the first time you saw the gun?
When he shot Carly.
And then another kid in the class was like, Elias didn't like Carly because she always tried to kiss him.
She kissed him all the time.
What would he do when she kissed him?
His face will get all red.
Did she try to kiss him that day?
She was walking over.
So that's furthering the detectives' vendetta against this 7-year-old and being like, yeah, makes sense. This kid just killed this other kid because she tried to kiss him without asking any sort of actual probing questions. So, oh my gosh, they're just so bad at their job.
Have you ever clocked in anywhere before?
No.
Have you ever had a real job?
No.
Okay.
And also, it's like, is this not a crime scene? Why are things not taped off? Why is there a memorial here? It's literally been 4 hours. Gosh. Anyways, then Elliot and Olivia find out that Elias spends a lot of time at daycare.
Wow. He's either at home, school, or a sitter's.
Okay, and who's that?
Mrs. Estrada.
His parents are always at the hospital, or they're both working 2 jobs because poverty is real. So yeah, he spends a lot of time with this woman called Mrs. Estrada. And once again, super demonizing towards poor people and immigrants, because they're like, oh, an immigrant? Okay, she must run an illegal daycare with like 50 kids.
Ma'am, are you responsible for every kid around here?
Yes, they don't talk to strangers. They don't leave the courtyard without an adult. I take my job very seriously, young man.
Anyways, the slander on Mrs. Estrada continues throughout. That's kind of where the investigation starts, because they're trying to figure out how Elias got the gun. Oh, well, it must be from one of the kids' parents, who Mrs. Estrada looks after, because they're all poor, so must be them. Oh, and also, I haven't mentioned this yet, the glow up they've given Olivia from season 1, episode 1, where she looks like this.
You see how I do my makeup for work? Very demure, very mindful.
To this season, where she randomly putting on like 3 hours worth of makeup to go to work, which I don't think is in her character if she's someone who just like cares so much about her work that she's always there. But yeah, I don't know what producers decided that she needed full glam every day, but she's in it. And then Elliot is like, oh, we should charge Elias's parents with criminal negligence. And for what? For what? Because they have to work 2 jobs? I think criminal negligence is not what's happening here. It's like true that a lot of poor parents are often targeted by law enforcement agencies, and there's a lot of abuse that happens in middle class families that doesn't get investigated or gets like swept under the rug because they are middle class. These biases hurts everyone, and these parents' only crime is the fact that they have to work 2 jobs. So then it must be the end of the day.
2 hours later.
Because Elias's teacher comes in
to be like, oh my gosh, I felt physically sick when I heard that it was Elias because of this.
I was in the teacher's lounge when they told us. And they said it was Elias. I got physically ill. Mrs. Paredes, is there something that you want to show us? After 20 years of teaching, nothing shocks you anymore.
She brings out a picture. It's just really funny seeing actors trying to stay on what they're directed to do, because she is searching through this briefcase to pull out this one photo, and she's there holding it for a while, and she's like, blah, 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 blah. And then she pulls out the photo that Elias allegedly drew. And once again, these guys are so bad at their job, because this is the photo. It is clearly not Carly. This kid is a really good drawer, and so it's like, I think he would have used a different color for Carly. It just obviously does not look like Carly at all. And they're like, Carly had pigtails, and it's like, what, when she was shot, did he have a premonition that she was gonna be having pigtails on that day? You're using this as a motive, and it's based on pigtails.
Did he draw this? Yesterday.
Carly had a ponytail.
Carly had a ponytail. Bruh.
What, who's this other random? It's like, this isn't even Elias holding the gun. It's some random. Holy moly guacamole. Like this, I can't even. They're just like running full ball with this Elias's evil propaganda when he is not anyways. Oh, and Elias's teacher also talks about how she's massively at capacity. Like, I think this class size is meant to be 24. She has like 40 kids.
The limit for class size is supposed to be 32 students. I have 40.
Well, it must make it kind of hard to give each student the attention they need.
It's impossible.
But the way it's talked about, I feel, is trying to incept the idea that poor people are bad because they don't get good education, they run amok, and the teachers have nothing that they can do about it. I feel like is very much trying to justify the criminalization of poverty.
That's my opinion!
There is studies that show that lack of access to education will negatively affect the amount of money you're able to get later in life, which then feeds back in generationally, like not being able to afford good education. And there are systems that could be put in place to help fund public schools better, but a lot of funding does just get diverted to private schools, which is messed up. So it's not the people's fault, it's the systems.
The system that knows so much, you decide what's right or wrong.
So then we cut over to our fave prosecutor, Alex, and she's having a fight with her boss because she doesn't want to charge Elias with murder.
Charge the boy.
With what?
Murder?
He's 7.
Yes, and if he were 6, I would send him home with his parents, as the law mandates, but he's not. The law is not interpretive, counselor.
Ever since Columbine, people are out for blood, and they're always blaming the public and the people. They're like, oh no, people want this. And it's like, do they though? Do they really?
And this, that gives us intent.
So then they go to the hearing. It's unclear how many days it has been. And Alex, who's meant to be our friend, recommends that Elias gets held by the state's custody because their parents are immigrants and therefore they have ties outside the country.
We therefore ask for the removal of the minor from his home and ask that he be remanded to a detention facility pending.
Your Honor, the Barreras are a loving, law-abiding nuclear family. Elias should be released into their
Barreras
custody.
have ties outside the country. Flight risk is a significant issue with...
No, please, don't take my baby.
He wasn't speaking. Rewind it. Rewind it.
Don't take my baby. Please.
Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Back at the cop shop, Elliot is grilling Alex about charging a 7-year-old with murder, making fun of her.
Didn't want to charge him with murder. I didn't have any choice.
Well, now that you got him in the big house, is he spilling? Why did it? Where you got the gun?
No. He's completely withdrawn. He won't even talk to the social worker.
Like, Elliot, you are so flip-floppy. Literally, maybe 5 seconds ago, you were talking about how this kid should be charged with murder. He just makes no sense and has such bad anger issues that no one ever talks about. Like, maybe he does have to go to anger management at some point, but it's always like, oh, he's so misunderstood. He just loves too much. And it's like, no, he probably should be going to anger management classes. So on their research into who had guns,
From the list of other kids that Mrs. Estrada is looking out for, there is one match.
The names of parents of the other kids Mrs. Estrada watches.
Really? Well, guess what Raina McCreary owns?
So then Munch and Finn go to talk to the mother. And it cuts over to the parent who has the same gun, and it is, this woman who's portrayed as this hard-ass Latin American. Honestly, all of her gripes to me are so valid.
You carry that around in your purse?
You know, sometimes I don't leave the hospital till 3 a.m. I have to take a subway, a bus, and walk 4 blocks through this neighborhood to get home.
You know, carrying a concealed weapon is a felony.
I don't. I leave it here so the appliances can defend themselves.
This is actually a thing where low-income parents, poor parents, minority parents are seen by the public and teachers and people within the schooling system as difficult and argumentative. I even read a study that looked into this concept and found that there is a very strong bias against poor parents and minority parents, that they don't care about their child's education, and because of that, they're treated with hostility. And this paper surveys a bunch of people, and they ask, so a middle-income parent, what words do you associate with them? And it was like someone who's an engineer, and it's like loving, educated, cares about their children, stable. And then it's like, oh, what do you think of this low-income person who is poor and unemployed and single? And it's word association. And the words were, they were all really bad. Like the words were, doesn't care, unwashed. These biases are real, and they end up affecting a child's education because a lot of poor and low-income parents who work multiple jobs, first of all, just don't have the time to volunteer and do this after-school care. Not that they don't want to, they physically can't. If they come to school late to pick up their children, these parents have been treated with hostility, they've been yelled at by teachers, and also because they have not usual work schedules, because they might be like a nurse or a cleaner and work really weird hours, when these parents do have a chance to go in and talk to the teachers, it's at weird times, and then they're seen as being pushy. But it's like, well, no, these parents are only coming in on the time that they have. So when these teachers set up these really strict, only contact me 1 hour after school, it once again puts these poor and minority people at a disadvantage. And this is real. There's studies on it, that people think that low income and minorities don't care, but they do. There's just all these barriers stopping them from being able to show up. But yeah, just because they're time poor, they're seen as people who don't care. Because yeah, these do have very real consequences. So, thank you guys. And then when that mother is like getting ready to go to work, once again being really harsh and mean to her kid because she's poor and obviously doesn't care about them, even though she does.
Of course I do.
Raphael, get a move on. We're leaving in 10 seconds.
Stop.
They talk to this kid who's, what, 10 or 11, and the way they portray these kids who live in these low-income areas to all be ghetto, or the script they've given this kid, they're just trying to convey that he doesn't care.
You know Elias?
Yeah.
You heard about what happened?
Yeah, he popped that little girl.
Coincidence? I think not!
It's like as if he would be saying that, as if a 9-year-old would be so nonchalant, being like, a killing? Yeah, classic. I mean, I guess maybe in America because of their insane gun laws,
but I really don't think he would be so nonchalant about it. Seriously, if this was like a white rich school, they would be like, ooh, Macedaros, I'm so scared. But because it's not, making all migrants and poor people seem evil and like they don't care, which is an ongoing theme of this TV show. This is what is incepting the brains of the white Republicans who are like, yes, the migrants that are the issue. Yep. This is when the big plot twist happens. When they go to the gun lab, I guess, they find out that the gun that was used has another body on it.
Okay, where'd you get this one from?
23-year-old. Your gun's got a second body on it.
So the gun also was used to kill a 23-year-old.
Visito, Latino male, 23. Got smoked in the ticker. Night before your case, close range. Got dumped in an alley a couple of blocks from where your kid lived.
And it is kind of funny because they go to that police department and Elliot's like, oh, maybe our 7-year-old also killed this other guy. But it's just so ridiculous that Elliot is serious, being, oh, maybe it was our 7-year-old killer. And it's not played for laugh. They actually make Elliot seem like a good detective, but it's honestly laughable. Like, it's so laughable.
You getting anywhere with it?
Nah, case is cold. We were hoping maybe your 7-year-old did our guy too. Well, how do we know he did? Emmy makes our shooter a good 4 inches tall in the stiff, so.
Anyways, the person who was killed was this Latin guy who was, you know, a classic bad egg. He was a drug dealer, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, there has not been one person in this TV show yet who's Latin American who has not been portrayed either as a cleaner and literally every single one has been shady or had anger issues.
You stay away from her!
I want to see her. Just take it easy there. Who are you? Detective Stabler. Who are you? Emily's father. What's your name? You got one? Denny Correa.
And it's like, you wonder where these fucking racist mindsets come from. And it's from TV shows like this. The propaganda and brainwashing these shows do is actually ridiculous. Then when they go to look at all the photos from the crime scene, they realize that the pants he's wearing are the same pants as Elliot's drawing. So, therefore, it seems unlikely that, yeah, Elliot is a killer. I mean, because he was just drawing what he saw, which was a murder.
In there somewhere.
Hold on, Elliot, look at his pants. This can't be a coincidence.
I think we might have just found our link.
And it's just like, once again, them classically being like, oh, poor people, yep, must be involved with crime, must be evil people. And Sweetness is actually...
He told me to stay in the room. I didn't. I saw him shoot the man.
Oh, they're like, oh, we're gonna go get a drink at Mulligan's. And then the captain gets a call and you can tell it's bad news because his head is like, oh. And then this is the most fucked up part of the episode, because this is where everything really comes full circle. Oh, you can't kill a sister and get away with it. So they literally are being like, yes, race wars. Like, shocked, floored. That's the end of the episode. And it's stuff like this, which is just so blatantly racist that, because Elliot is saying that, welcome to the Gaza Strip because kids are killing kids. It's once again reinforcing the sentiment that they've already laid down in the show that people from Palestine are bad.